A military coup? And the leader has been detained? What is happening in Myanmar? Assalamu alaikum, what's going on everybody? Recently, a military coup took place in Myanmar where the military arrested the leader, Aung San Suu Kyi. If you're wondering, why do these words sound familiar? Well, let me tell you. You have probably heard of Myanmar somewhere in social media in the context of committing ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya Muslims. In the past few years, the government and the military has killed approximately tens of thousands of Rohingya Muslims. And the military has burned, killed, and raped thousands more. They also displaced 700,000 Rohingyas. 700,000, that's 750,000 people. But I'll let more qualified people tell you what happened.
United Nations and all of the major human rights organizations in the world, they go to the extent of saying that the Rohingya are one of the most persecuted minorities in the whole world.
It said what was happening in Myanmar was nothing short of ethnic cleansing.
The crimes against humanity, the ethnic cleansing for which the government of Burma is responsible, are like nothing I've witnessed before.
This is a scorched earth, burn it and shoot it army. And, they have once again committed ethnic cleansing.
Split throats, burnt villages, dead children, and raped women in the thousands.
And Human Rights Watch published a damning report against the government, accusing them of firing on Rohingya protesters and driving more than 100,000 people into the sea.
These crimes were committed by the last religion you would have ever expected. Drum roll, please. Buddhism. Wait, what?
Buddhist monks and ultranationalist groups as they attacked the already impoverished Rohingya camps.
Hate speech against Muslims, and especially the Rohingya, flourished on Facebook, posted by military leaders and politicians, as well as prominent Buddhist monks like Ashin Waratu.
Do Muslims have a place here in Burma?
We can't repeat his actual response. It's R-rated. But essentially, he said, Muslims were defecating on Burma, threatening its very existence.
You don't like them very much.
I don't accept them.
Why?
Because they're deceiving the world. They want to take over the whole country.
That monk is so hateful, he has actually been called the Burmese Bin Laden. That's right, a Buddhist monk is known as the Burmese Bin Laden.
You know when we say that no religion has a monopoly on terrorism? Well, apparently Buddhism felt left out and they wanted in. But of course, I'm not saying these actions represent Buddhism, just as ISIS and their actions do not represent Islam. However, it's pretty interesting how the media coverage for both acts of terrorism and, genocide are not really covered the same. So, with all this being said, who is Aung San Suu Kyi? Who is this poor individual who has been detained by the military? Aung San Suu Kyi was initially an activist, a hero. In the past, she was imprisoned by the military in Myanmar. She stood up for justice. She stood up for democracy. She stood up against the military rule. She even won a Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts. And then when she became the leader of Myanmar, everyone expected great things. This is someone who lived under oppression. This is someone who knows what it feels like. This is someone who will fight tooth and nail to get rid of injustice. Or that's what people thought would happen. But unfortunately, this is what we got instead.
Images of the Muslim minority being killed, their homes set on fire, and their people pushed into the sea in their hundreds of thousands.
And the worst thing is, she never opposed these crimes. If anything, she just simply excused them. She rationalized them, and she never spoke against them.
No, it's not ethnic cleansing. It's a new problem, and yet it's linked to old problems as well. This is due to fear on both sides.
50% of the villages of Muslims are intact.
Even if someone says, well, she was probably under a lot of pressure from the military government, okay, sure. She never even at any point in time said anything that would indicate that she felt some remorse. She wouldn't even admit that this was happening. Aung San Suu Kyi called the whole thing, the whole ethnic cleansing, an iceberg of misinformation. Well, Aung San Suu Kyi, I will tell you the same thing I said a few years ago when I made a video about the Rohingya and the ethnic cleansing taking place, back even before I had facial hair. So yes, Aung San Suu Kyi called it an iceberg of misinformation. It is an iceberg. The same iceberg that sank the Titanic. An iceberg in the sense that we can only see the top, but what lies beneath the surface is far, far worse. An iceberg that could have been avoided. A tragedy that could have been prevented and instead was ignored and resulted in the loss of many innocent lives. So yes, Aung San Suu Kyi, it is an iceberg. It's just not the one you're thinking of. Dear Aung San Suu Kyi, the whole world stood with you when you fought for justice, when you fought for a voice, when you fought for humanity, and when you finally had the chance to make a difference, you turned your back on your supporters. You turned your back on justice, on decency, on humanity. And now, there's no one left to stand up for you. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and share this video. Support me by subscribing to my channel. And until next time, I'm that Muslim guy. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you.